today you'll be receiving from a message full of God's power to help you become everything that God has created you to be. You know, God sent his son, Jesus, to die for you to have a life of abundance and for you to be an ambassador for him. What does that mean? That your life should represent his goodness. It's time to be about it. Tune in today's message and you'll be blessed.
John chapter 21, I'm going to start with verse 1. After this, Jesus let himself be seen and revealed himself again to the disciples at the Sea of Tiberias, and he did it in this way. There were together Simon Peter and Thomas, called the twin, and Nathanael from Cana of Galilee, also the son of Zebedee, and two others of his disciples. And Simon Peter said to them, "Look, I'm going fishing." Let me just give you a context of what's happening here. I'm reading from the Amplified Version. This is after Jesus had the Last Supper with the disciples and gone to the cross, died on the cross, went to hell, took the keys from Satan so that we could have our victory. Note that the victory has already been won. You know, I want to say this is, you know, a lot of us in here really enjoy movies. And sometimes the better the movie, you know, we decide what this movie was good or not good, is if it's not obvious. You know, you ever been sitting in a movie and it's so obvious, you know exactly what's going to happen. And you're like, this is just, could have stayed home, give me back my $10, what have you. But yet if a movie has twists and turns, we like, oh, that's sweet, because we know at the end of the movie, we win, right? Whoever you're rooting for wins, right? Well, Satan likes to try and do that in our own lives, where there's some people in here and you're just caught up, and some people watching online, and you can't see how this thing is going to turn around. You can't see what's going on, or you can't see God manifesting in your life, or maybe you're not sure what you see. Or maybe, like Peter was in this chapter and verse, is that before Jesus died on the cross, Jesus had warned him and said, "You'll deny me 3 times. And Peter swore to him, saying, I love you so much, God, I will die with you. I will not deny you. But of course, he did deny him. And Jesus died on the cross. And then Jesus was rose again from the dead. Now, this is the 3rd time that Jesus is going to appear to his disciples after having risen from the dead. Why does that matter? Well, I want you to understand the mindset of Peter here. Is that when Jesus first found Peter, you can read about it in Luke chapter 5. I won't review it. You can get any of our previous messages on this where I lay out a little bit more about this online, right there at our wordoffaith.cc, wordoffaith.cc, or even at the bookstore. But anyway, we get to the place when Jesus found Peter, he was a fisherman. And if you read in Luke chapter 5, not only was he a fisherman, he was not a good one. When Jesus met Peter, he had been fishing all night and had caught nothing. Now, that's a drought and that's a famine right there, because obviously he's trying to catch fish so he can sell them, the same reason why we work in the natural. We know that it's more blessed to give than receive. We work for a giving. God is not just having you out here working for a living, but the next level is work for a giving, that all your needs are so met that now you walking around looking for whose house you can pay off. But anyway, Jesus, in that first encounter with Peter, is that he gets on Peter's boat. He tells Peter, you know, how to fish. He tells him the grace of God takes over, and Peter pulls through a whole truckload of fish, not in his own ability, but in God's ability, because Jesus' power was there to make it happen. I'm going to say it again. Jesus' power was there to make it happen. Let me say that. That's about your situation as well. Perhaps you've been fishing and haven't caught anything because you left the grace of God behind. Well, after Peter betrays Jesus and Jesus is coming back and all of those things, you know, things have changed. Things have changed. Before Jesus went to the cross, Peter was walking with this mighty man of God, and there were miracles and seen. And afterwards, here you've got a guy that I would dare say has a heart, just a heavy heart, like, I just messed up. You ever done something you just like, I just messed up? And so instead of Peter continuing in what God told him to do, he went right back to his past. He went fishing. I can imagine it was an easy choice to make too, because you know, sometimes when things are hard, what Satan tries to do is make your past look sexy. Look at your neighbor and say, do not be deceived. But I can see why he would want to go back fishing. I mean, when he was with Jesus, yes, there were great power and miracles and all that kind of stuff, but you also had haters. People just, the very people that he's healing and going to the cross for, the very ones who crucified him. And now here comes some Roman soldiers and all, they're trying to trap him and kill him. I'm sure he's like, you know what, before I got saved, I didn't have people trying to check me on how long my skirt was. I'm out of here. I'm going back to where I used to be. You know what? When I was clubbing and drinking, nobody cared about how much time I spent in prayer. I'm going back. You know, before I got married, I came home when I wanted to. Nobody was questioning me. I slept in peace. Before I had these kids made me crazy. He's trying to sexify something that is no longer the will of God for your life. It was not the will of God for Peter to go back. So here comes Jesus after him. Now that's love. Because a lot of us would have been like, you want to go? Go. Peace. Deuces. You couldn't fish before? You certainly can't fish now. You want to take me for granted. Enjoy that air you're about to eat. Verse 5, Jesus said unto them, boys, do you not have any meat with you? Have you caught anything? And they answered him, no. Before Jesus, no fish. After Jesus, no fish. I'm going to jump down to verse 15. Of course, Jesus, in his loving way, because again, he could have been upset with Peter, like, didn't I tell you what to do? You done already betrayed me. Do what I told you to do.
I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. I want to invite you to subscribe as well as visit our website at michelleferguson.org. We have some materials there that can help you as you walk through life, live the life that God created for you. As always, I'm Michelle Ferguson, helping you to discover, develop, and celebrate who God has created you to be. See you next time.